It's not your strategy, it's your mind. And that's why so many traders fail. 80% of the success in trading comes down to psychology. And that's why most traders fail before they really even ever get started. I've been teaching traders literally since 2008. This is all I've done my whole life. And I have seen so many people come and go. But one of the things that I've noticed out of my students is the guys that are the most technically proficient, the ones with all the experience that have been studying, taking class, showing up every single day, grinding it out. They know everything about trading and the mechanics of what we do. Their failure rate is still 50-50. Some of them make it, and some of them don't. And I have seen so many people come through my program that have an understanding of a handful of things. They're really good at a couple things, but they have great psychology and great mindset, and they're able to actually go and make money in the markets and sometimes millions of dollars by just being really, really good at a few patterns, but having epic discipline and mindset. One of my best traders, Tarun, who made 7 figures last year, when you talk to him, he has a few simple strategies. I'm like, yo, how did you make so much money on this? He's like, dude, it's a Bollinger Band strategy on the hourly chart. I wait for this to happen, then this happens. He's like, I put my stop loss here, so on and so forth. And what he's done is taken that setup down to a microscopic detail and learned everything about it, but he does just a handful of things. But he's got a great mindset. He's super disciplined, but he's not a head case, right? His psychology is what takes him to the next level. Where I have other students who spend so much time learning every single scan they can. They're on every single website blog. They do multi-hour homework and journaling every single night, but they just can't get ahead because they're always in their head during the trading day. They're sitting there and they're counting their dollars before they have it. They're trading their P&L versus the charts. They may know everything they need to know about trading, but they can't get their fingers to do what their brain is telling them to do, and that's mindset and psychology. In this video, I'll show you the real mental traps that kill traders and how you can build the discipline and emotional control to get ahead. So let's talk about section 1, why psychology is 80% of trading. Here's a myth. Most people think trading is all about just chart patterns and indicators and trade journaling. The truth is the real battle's in your head, the way you grew up, the way that you look and act around money. The psychology is 80% of the game. One of my favorite students from Boston, we'll call him T-Bone, so he's getting mad about using his name, but I've been working with him literally for years. He helps me plan stuff for my classes. When I need scans, he builds them for me. He knows everything there is to know about TradingView, TC2000, building scans, and really the intricate nuances of patterns. But every single time he gets close to making that breakthrough of actually getting paid from his trading, he screws it up the day before. And I can't count how many times he's done this. I'm talking in the dozens. You know, lately he's been trading a prop account and he has been crushing it. But if you know anything about prop accounts, right, you have to go through a period where you build a buffer. So you got to be profitable and build a buffer. And then once you get past that buffer, you can get a payout. And so you have to go above and beyond. So he builds his buffer every single time. And right before he gets to the spot where he can request a payout, he blows up. It's literally without thought the day before that. I can't count how many Slack messages I've had where he's like $100 away from getting a payout. I've done everything I need to. I've made the breakthrough. And then he disappears for a couple days. And I'll say, hey, what's up? He says, man, I try to push that thing through and really go for it. And he blows it up. Or that day is just slow in the markets and he spins out of control with some over trading. A bunch of small losses cascade into the bigger one and poof. There goes your chatters. You can know everything there is to know about trading, guys. It's all in here. You still gotta get your fingers to do what you need to do. And we've all been there. We know we shouldn't be having that last slice of pizza, but sometimes we do. We know that we shouldn't be smoking those ciggies, but sometimes we do. We know when it's 1:30 in the morning and you're sitting there at the bar and it's winter time and you see somebody walk through and you ask yourself, would I be so into this at 9 p.m.? Probably not. But you still go and do what you gotta do, right? And then what happens? Regret. And we all live there. We know what we're supposed to do, but we don't always do it. And it's not just in trading, it's in so many parts of our lives. And so a big part of even having the right psychology and having the right mindset is to build really great habits in your personal life on a day-to-day basis. If you live with discipline in everything that you do, if you live with the purpose and precision in all the other things that you do, then when the lights turn on during the trading day, you're not sitting there wondering what you should do, whether you're gonna make another mistake. You're already doing it. You're acting disciplined in everything else you do, and it carries over into your trading. So don't be a big old sloth. Get your shit together right now, because it's gonna show up at 9:30 when that bell hits. Let's go over the most common psychological traps. Number one is, of course, FOMO, the fear of missing out. Social media has totally screwed us. I'm a part of it too, doing these YouTube videos. But you look at social media, dude, don't even look at YouTube these days, man. It's either the crypto influencers, the day traders, or like the new age, like these marketing, blueprint, like personal branding guys. Fuck, they're all like 22 years old, and they all got ride around on like Bentleys and Koenigseggs and this and that, and it really just makes you feel like shit, myself included, right? Like, I'm 40 years old now. I look at this and I'm like, damn, this kid's got acne, and the motherfucker is riding around private jets, and I'm here in my office making YouTube videos, right? Like, the FOMO happens in the stock market, it happens in life, it happens everywhere. But what happens is when you see all of that stuff, right, it often will make you force trade. You're sitting there and you see stocks pop and you think this is the one that's going to get you where you need. Remember always that the process is the most important thing. One good trade, one good setup. That's the whole ball game, right? You're not missing out on anything. Look, you have your whole life to trade, but in this moment right now, you have just to make this one good trade. Revenge trading. Holy man, I battled the old revenge trading for many years. I would say 2008 to even 2010, so much revenge trading that would come post FOMO, because when the market crashed in 2008, 2009 was such a big ripper, the FOMO was hard, and then from the FOMO comes the revenge trading. You take a loss, then you take another loss, then you go in a little bit bigger, and then you take another loss, and then you're just in the spin cycle of despair, right? To make up those losses, you're just sitting there in your head like, well, I just need this much to, break even, and then I'm done for the day. I'm not going to do this anymore. But guys, breaking even for the day doesn't mean anything when you're risking your whole account. Done for the day means nothing, right? Breaking even or finishing in the green, like, who cares if you finish up 1 penny or $1? Like, that's not worth the risk. But the revenge trading is a thing. It's like when you're stuck in it, it's the spin cycle of despair. You're buying high, selling low, then you're shorting low, covering high, then you're buying it high, and you're just in this spin cycle, and it gets worse and worse. It's the never-ending cycle, and we've all been there, but boy, when you're on the train, it's like you feel like you're a different person. And that's just, we gotta always stay away from that. So what you gotta do, right? If you have, say, 3 losses on a particular ticker, on any particular ticker in a row, literally exit out of your platform. Take it out of your watch list. Take it off your broker. Take it out of your charting platform and just forget it. And forget it the next day and the next day. I've done this so many times, like I can't even count. But it's not that day that always gets you in trouble. It's that you go back to it and try to hit it the next day. I remember when MSTR was flying up into the 500. I was trying to short that thing for like 4 days. Like, it was just going at 400. I thought it was overbought. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is gonna roll over. It's $100 stock. And I got smoked out. And then rather than just Forgetting about it, what did I do? I went back in the next day, got smoked out, right? And I hit my max loss for the day. And then lo and behold, there were so many good setups happening. But lo and behold, what do I do on day 3? The whole MSTR is on my watch list, and I am just like trying to short this piggy. And then it rolls into, $540 or whatever it hit. And when it finally rolled over, I had the scars. Dude, I took a little bit of cheddar that day. I had a decent day, but it did not make back all those previous days, right? If I just left it alone after that first day, I would have been so fresh that when it finally tanked, I would have been ready for it. Now let's talk about overconfidence or greed. Guys, overconfidence happens in trading all the time. I was just talking to one of my students, Barb. She runs a hedge fund. She's raised some money and just crushed it the last couple months. And literally you could see it. I'm like, Barb, you gotta chill out. She's like, I know. I'm like talking in the third person right now. I'm so pumped. I've been making money and I'm about to get my, I'm about to get my 20%. I'm like, you gotta hold the horses, because as soon as you feel like you've mastered the market's going to master you. What happens when you get a little bit overconfident, you've made some profits, is you get lax on your process. You get lax on your discipline. This used to happen to me when I was new all the time. I'd make a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden, maybe I stopped working out. All of a sudden, maybe I stopped waking up so early. Those scans that I was spending hours doing, right? Really digging in deep. All of a sudden, maybe it's half the time. Maybe there's days I'm not even doing them. I'm just waking up, looking at some gappers, and because I'm hot, I'm making money, but it doesn't last, right? Because what happens is when you have chips in the armor, when you have cracks in the foundation of your discipline, it will show up a couple weeks later. So you may not notice it at that moment. You may actually still keep making profits, but every day when you break your discipline, when you break the standard that you have set, at some point it shows up. The chickens come to roost. You gotta pay the piper. And so the overconfidence is a killer because you get lazy, right? You get easy. You get a little bit of, right? You get a little fat. Right? You get a little, like, I got a hot new girlfriend weight, right? You ever been in love and you're just like, man, this is amazing. You're going out to dinner every day, right? Just all day, all night, making whoopee, eating desserts. And then next thing you know, right? 3 months later, you find out she was, making out with the busboy at the craft bar, and you've got a 30-pound pooch on your belly, and you're wondering, what the heck happened, right? You can't ever break your discipline, guys. The standard is the standard. Let's talk about how to build discipline and emotional resilience. First thing first, you gotta accept uncertainty. You can't control the markets. You can't depend on the markets to do anything that you want to do. Whenever I thought the market has to do this or needs to do this, I've always got smoked out. You gotta accept the uncertainty. 2, set rules and stick to them. Sticking to rules, it stinks. It's so much more fun to be a cowboy, right? There's like a little badge of honor when you're like that guy that just wings it because you're so good at everything. But in trading, that boring note taker type, he's the one that's making money because he's just doing the little gritty work every single day. 3rd, you gotta detach from the outcomes. The P&L is the P&L. The P&L comes after the fact, right? The process is what pays you. Those little things that you do every single day and in every single trade, that's what leads to P&L. But you can't control the P&L, right? You can only control your own output. And if you do everything right, the P&L shows. Practice some level of mindfulness. I'm not talking about, right, get naked, sunning your butthole and doing some woosah stuff. What I'm talking about is just being mindful of your emotional state when you're getting into trades. If you're either giddy or nervous, sweaty palms, whatever it is, jot it down real quick and see if it's leading to bad behavior, see if it's leading to losses. That way you can nip it in the bud and you can come back and really be cognizant of what's getting you in trouble. Let's talk about routines and exercises for building a winning mindset. First, your morning routine is everything. Review your plan every single day, of course. But beyond that, get yourself ready by having a rock solid routine that gets you in a good mental state. For me, it's not getting there in the pre-market and doing pre-market trades and just jamming buttons. I need to go for a walk. I got to get some morning sunlight. I hit the beach right? FaceTime my mom. Like there's things that I gotta do to just relax. If you guys know me, right? Like, I'm overly aggressive, hyperactive person. I've gotta spend that time in the morning just getting myself ready. Dude, I used to lift weights like every single morning before the market and I'd go nuts, right? Like my testosterone or whatever it was would just be butt chugging all day and it would get me in so much trouble. Like you gotta have something that works for you and then stick to it and really work on that every single day. Make it a routine for life. Your pre-trade checklist, right? Before you get into these trades, right? Ask yourself, like, am I in the right mental state? Did I plan out my trade? Is this part of my plan? Or am I just winging it or following somebody? Post-trade reflections, right? When you look at your post-trade reflections, it's not whether the trade made you money or lost you money, but did you follow your plan? Was it actually a setup we're taking in the current market environment that we're seeing? And of course, the daily journaling, not just like writing down all your trades or using TradeZilla and doing some upload and then tagging some things, right? But really figuring out how you were feeling during those trades. Were you rested? Were you calm? Were you following your plan, right? Having some dots on a chart and then reviewing them doesn't tell the whole story. What tells the whole story is if you were following the plan, if you were in the right mental state to even get into that trade, and then what happened? Was it a success or not? That's what's gonna give you some real clues. Let's talk about how to get over losing streaks. Guys, a slump buster is everything in trading. You don't usually lose your account from one bad trade. Sure, that happens, but for most people, it's drawdowns. Those periods where you go weeks where you just can't make any good decisions, where you go weeks where nothing goes right. Every time you buy a stock, in a second it goes down. Those are the things that will get you in trouble when you're just stopping out endlessly. So first things first, take a step back, take a day off, lower your position size. Do something, but you gotta be proactive. If you think that you're just gonna show up and keep doing the same thing and you're gonna have different results, well, we know what happens, right? So you gotta make some moves. Somewhere, somehow, make a move. For me, I don't like taking days off and rewarding myself for bad behavior. I find that to be, I don't know, it's a Michigan thing maybe, but I just find that to be a little uncouth. For me, what I personally do, I cut my position size in half. If I lose again, the next day, I'm cutting my position size in half. If I lose again the next day, I'm cutting my position size in half. That way, I'm still getting reps. I'm still in the market. I've still got my feel for everything that's going on, but I've cut my risk down to such a point where I'm not at an inherent risk in my account for having bad behavior. The second part, review your journal endlessly and try to figure out what the heck is going on in these trades. But more importantly than that, send that journal to somebody else. Send it to somebody like me or a friend that's doing good. Let him or her look at this thing and really give you an objective view. When you step back from your own colossal stupidity and let somebody else show you, dude, you get a lot of really cool insight. Oftentimes, like when I have my mentor Paul look at my stuff or Saeed that I work with, I am in such a dumper, right? I feel so bad about my trades, but they look at it and they say, you know what? There's good things in here. There's green shoots. You just need to change one or two things here, and then you're back on track. See, when we're in it, everything is a disaster because we're losing money. But when somebody else looks at it, they can look at it objectively and say, here, 1, 2, and 3, if you do these, I think you're gonna be okay. And sometimes we need to hear that. So review your journal, but more importantly, send it to somebody else. I've done this so many times in my career where I've been taking losses, and first thing first, I reduce my position size, then I hit up my mentor. And I've got so many mentors over the years. Paul, who taught me, he taught me in 2006 everything I knew about trading. But along the way, I've had other mentors, man. John Welsh is a good friend of mine and a mentor. I trade with a guy named Zaman every single day on Gmail chat since 2008. He's a mentor to me also. Like every time I've been in these kind of slumps, I had one even a couple years ago, like when I had my first baby. I wasn't sleeping at all. You know how it goes, right? Like I'm a 44-year-old man, I'm having my first baby, right? And it's like I had been living my whole life for myself, right? A hedonistic bacchanala of fun. And now I'm married, I got a baby, and I have to do something completely different, but the lack of sleep was really getting to me. And when I got into this period of drawdown, because I was just so tired, going to other people and having them look at my trades and also just my processes was a huge help. I knew I needed some sleep. I knew I needed to reduce my position size. I knew I needed to do this, but hearing it from somebody else was the game changer, right? No matter how good you are in trading, there's always somebody better than you that's wiser than you. But even if they're not, it's just great to have a friend that can kind of point the way. Let's talk about the role of journaling and self-review. Guys, journaling is like a low-carb diet. It is great in theory till you have to do it for a period of time. Then your buddies come over, you eat a bunch of pizza, and you gain all the weight back. Trade journaling can be the same way if you do it by hand or by Excel. So get something like a TradeZilla. That's going to take a lot of the pain out of it, where you can actually do it and repeat it every single day. I personally use TradeZilla, and it's allowed me to actually keep journaling. When I was doing that stuff by Google Docs or Excel, man, you want to journal when the market's great because you want to, right, celebrate your wins. And it's journaling your stuff when you're on a hot streak. It's like an ode to yourself, right? Your magnanimous awesomeness. But when you're losing, the last thing you want to do is sit there and type a bunch of stuff in Excel and take screenshots and do all these calculations, or write in your Evernote or whatever you might be doing on your notepad. It sucks, right? Use a real online trading journal. That way you can just auto-upload, and then you're just tagging stuff and writing down a couple notes. That's gonna really make it a lot easier to allow you to keep doing it so you can build up years worth of data in some real databases. One thing to just be mindful when you're trading too, because it can be so negative when you're new and you're journaling because there's so many trades that are screw-ups. Highlight your best trade of each day. Whether you made money or not, or how much money, doesn't really matter, but highlight your best setup every single day that you took, and build yourself out this playbook of your great setups. There's a great book by Mike Bellifiore, who runs SMB Capital. They have an awesome YouTube video called The Playbook. It's one of the only trading books that I really recommend to people because it's got actionable things. It's not like a woosa thing like trading the zone where you just feel like you got mommy issues and until you solve them, you'll never be good at trading. This gives you real stuff to do. And one of the things that they have in there that they do for their traders is, hey, let me journal one trade every single day and really break it down into granular detail. That way I have a playbook of the best things that I do. So it's a positive thing because you're taking your best and then you're diving down into granular detail. Because in reality, if you take, say, 20, 30 trades in a day, so many of them are just going to be flat trades or small losses or small gains, right? There's a lot of noise in that data. Journaling one awesome trade in some real detail and building that playbook will actually be great for your long-term success. So let's just get into some action steps as we've been getting a little bit long-winded here. So number one, start that trading journal. Make sure you journal that one best setup every single day. Use something like a TradeZilla so that you're not endlessly typing and doing stuff, because you won't stick with it probably for more than a couple weeks. Who are we kidding? 2, create a pre-trade checklist, but also a pre-market routine. Something that doesn't have to do with getting to the computer, but what is your morning going to be like? Are you gonna go for a walk? Are you gonna get a little bit of sun? Are you gonna get a little bit of workout? What are you gonna do? And then make sure you repeat it every single day. Make it your own, man. This is your routine, your mantra on how you get ready for the markets. Step 3, write down how you feel after these trades. When you're getting into some slumps and you're getting into some winners, really write down what was going through your head. What are you going through emotionally? And try to pair those things with your trades so you know when to step back and when to step it up. Step 4, on Sundays, review your journal weekly. Look for symmetries, look for patterns in there that show themselves that can lead to more profits or destructive things that are going to be costing you money. Step 5, commit to process over outcomes for the next 20 trades. Literally have a pre-trade plan, a post-trade plan, and a journaling plan, and stick to it for the next 20 trades. Guys, it's not your strategy, it's your mind. Masters your psychology, build some real discipline, not just in your trading, but your personal life, and that will carry over to your trading. If you want help building a winning mindset and a system that you can duplicate every single day with actual charting setups, but mindset, book a call with a member of my team. Like, subscribe, and comment below what's your biggest mental hurdles that you're going through in your trading.